The high voltage regulator stage is used to maintain a constant voltage value for the second anode in the picture tube. The high voltage hold-down stage is responsible for reducing the high voltage output in the event that a malfunction occurs in one of the high voltage stages, which would result in the anode voltage becoming excessive. The focus rectifier stage is commonly found in older television receivers. This stage is used to keep the electron beams being emitted by the CRT guns from spreading and causing the picture to look out of focus. The low voltage power supply converts the incoming AC line voltage into direct current voltage levels necessary to drive the various stages used in the television receiver. This stage also supplies the current required for the heating element in the picture tube. This concludes review number 6. At this time, you should stop the video and complete section F in your student workbook. In this final segment of the video, we will review the primary sections of the color TV receiver. Instead of depicting the color television receiver as a series of operational stages, as we have done to this point, we will break it down into its basic sections. Here you see a very basic structure of a color television receiver. Notice that it contains a front end, detector circuits, audio circuits, luminance circuits, color circuits, high voltage, and synchronization circuits, and of course the cathode ray tube, or picture tube as it is more commonly called. As you recall, the front end of the receiver contains the UHF and VHF stages. This section of the television receiver performs 3 basic functions. First, they select the desired channel from the various RF signals being inputted into them. Next, they amplify the weak RF signals to a usable level. And finally, this section changes the frequency of the incoming RF signal to a lower intermediate frequency value. Basically, the front end is the tuning section of the television receiver. The detector section refers to all stages responsible for the detection and separation of the audio, luminance, color, and synchronization information contained in the received television signal. Even though the primary function of this section is to separate the received information into its basic components, it also amplifies the signal and converts it into a composite video waveform. The audio section is responsible for converting the 4.5 megahertz signal, which is fed into it, into an audio frequency signal which has sufficient power to operate the speaker system in the television receiver. The audio stages operate on frequency-modulated signals. Most of the newer color television receivers will contain stereo circuitry. For additional information about frequency-modulated circuits, you should review the You Can Do videos FM Part 1 and FM Part 2. The luminance section is responsible for the black and white reproduction of the televised signal. The luminance signal is also commonly referred to as the Y signal. The output of the luminance section is fed into the cathode ray tube, where it controls the brightness levels of the video image. These brightness levels range from solid black to solid white, as well as the various shades of gray between these two extreme points. The color section of the television receiver is responsible for reproducing the correct hue and color saturation of the received signal. It must also time the color signal to the luminance signal so that the two signals are produced at the exact same instant inside the picture tube. In reality, this timing sequence is controlled by the delay line stage located in the luminance circuitry. The color signal is commonly referred to as the chrominance signal. The frequency of the chrominance signal is 3.579545 megahertz and is a phase-modulated signal.